Hi, welcome to the Business Spotlight series. I'm here with Felicity King, founder of Courage People. How are you doing, Felicity?
Morning, Mike. Really well, thank you. What about you?
I'm very well too, thank you. Thanks very much for joining us. So, as
Pleasure.
always, if you could start us off and just give us a bit more background as to who you are, what it is you do, how long you've been doing it for, please, Felicity.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So I am the founder of Courage People, which is a specialist learning and development division. I've been in business myself for 15 years, just coming up to our anniversary. And I work alongside a wonderful team of very people-centered people. And that's really what's at the heart of our business. We support companies of all sizes, individuals and teams, to grow their people through connection, through performance conversations, and really understanding the human experience. And we do that to drive growth, because if there's one thing I've learned over the years, if you're
Yeah,
going to employ people, then you need to understand how humans tick. And that's at the heart of our work.
fantastic. Well, it's definitely something when we do the Business Spotlight interviews, the amount of lessons shared, should we say, experiences of employing people that come up, and it's quite a number of different reflections, let's say, that business owners, leaders have of their experiences of employing people. So, in terms of, I guess, yourselves and encourage people, what would make you guys stand out when it comes to helping businesses with their teams, with their people?
That's a brilliant question. And you know what? I think at the heart of really good growth is discomfort. And
Mm.
if we want people to grow, we've got to be willing to demonstrate a tolerance for that uncomfortableness. And that's what we do. We help people find those growth opportunities, which can feel tricky, they can feel
Mhm.
different, they can feel uncomfortable. And very often, I would say 99% of the time, that discomfort is something that prevents us having a conversation. It prevents us holding ourselves or someone else to account. And because we are people specialists and all our work is based in biology and the biology of human growth, we help people understand that, not fear it, tolerate it. So growth isn't a challenge, it's actually inevitable.
Fantastic. It's there's a phrase that popped into my head then when you explaining that about becoming secure in your insecurities or becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable. And yeah, that kind of middle point of just enough to grow and not enough too much to scare people.
Yeah, that messy bit in the middle is where the action and
Mm.
where the growth and where the good stuff happens. So we help you find that and understand it, and stop trying to make it up, and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
freestyle in it. uh,
yeah. Make
yeah,
some sense of it.
great people are everywhere. We just need to
Mhm.
understand them better, and how we ourselves can
Brilliant.
model that
Yeah,
um
I love that. I love that kind of, yeah, great people are everywhere, as you say. Everyone's got something to offer. So,
absolutely,
if,
absolutely. Human
in,
intelligence will always be in my book, uh,
yeah,
far superior to anything artificial, and I think it's exactly the right time in the world to really harness it.
yes. So perhaps in terms of maybe we discuss that a little bit more in depth in a second. But what's your business journey been like to date in terms of your 15 years you mentioned earlier?
Yeah,
Just one word you describe the journey, and then maybe expand on it, or one or two perhaps if it needs a bit more.
yeah. Well, we're courage people, and I think any behavioural change or any change that you go about is about courage and about taking risks and being brave and daring. And so, yeah, just over 15 years ago, I gave up my job, and my background is in teaching. So I had a job I absolutely loved. I was a senior leader in a number of schools, working in people development as well as retaining some teaching. But I decided I wanted to be able to do that all the time and with a variety of people, because I get so much from being around people, and I'm not afraid to help them, step into the
Yeah.
comfort zones. So my journey was an overnight decision. Um, and very much inspired by my dad, who
Yeah.
developed his business from what we call the 100 quid in North Yorkshire. So I decided I'm going to get my 100 quid, and
Yeah.
I chose to spend it on diesel, and fill my car up and go and talk to people and go and talk to them about what I believed, what I felt was critical
Yeah.
from my experience in developing people, and would they let me have a go at developing their people? So it was very much that. It was a bit of Yorkshire grit, jump in the car, go and talk to people, and it grew from there. So what might have been one-to-one coaching and support and development turned into groups, turned into teams, turned into whole organizations. And that's something that's grown. And my team has. We're not a huge team. We're a small team of 8. But the work we do is very focused and high impact. So yeah, I've never been afraid of keeping things small but mighty.
Yeah. Brilliant. I love that. You mentioned about when we were talking off camera about having sort of clarity of direction and that becomes more clear as you sort of get older and more experienced. But yeah, setting that compass is key if you know where you're going and having the clarity of getting there. So in terms of what you've experienced so far, what are your challenges and opportunities that you can foresee coming up? We sort of touched upon human intelligence versus artificial intelligence. What's the sort of take for you guys of where things are going?
Oh, it's very clear that it's never been more important to put your people first if you are an employer, no matter what you do. And whilst the world of AI is very glitzy and can be very time saving, if you're going to employ people, or if indeed you are a human being, then there needs to be a huge focus on nurturing yourself, aligning yourself, using your energy really, really wisely. So I think our challenge, as in any business owner's challenge, is to really find their clients, really find their people, where you can absolutely serve your socks off, but not serve with an unreceptive audience, if that makes sense. So I think our focus is very much about being strong, being truly consultative, and seeking out the clients that are absolutely engaged in. They might not know the answers to their problems or their challenges with their people. That's what we're there to help with. But they're very engaged in finding that solution and willing to put in the time and the support going forward. Because as we all know, behavioural change is about little habits.
Yes,
identifying your success behaviours, turning them into small little tangible habits one at a time.
Yeah, totally agree. Something that comes up there is a book, James Clear, Atomic Habits, when you say that, in terms of recognizing what habits we have in order to that are affecting our daily lives, and having awareness of those, and being wanting to potentially change those in order for the better of the growth of that person. But it is that uncomfortable point, as you say, to do that.
I think you're absolutely right, Mike. It's that awareness, and a lot of people, for one reason or another, aren't ready, aren't receptive to even getting into awareness. So yeah, that's a really important conversation. It's where we start, and it's what we can really help with.
And what have you found with, I suppose, if there's a general trend that you can reflect on? I guess everybody's different, but in terms of people being open to that uncomfortableness and the AI shift that is happening, is there what's your kind of, I suppose, take on that position in the marketplace of businesses with their people and AI?
Well, AI brings some really exciting efficiencies to your business, but it can also close people down. So I think we have a responsibility, no matter what size our business is, whether it's just ourselves with some support, let's say, in the background, or we're a leader of an enormous company. We have a real responsibility to always focus on human needs and what makes a great environment. Just like when you're tending to your garden and you're doing a bit of weeding this time of the year and preparing it for the winter, we have a huge responsibility, and a really important one that isn't necessarily complicated, to making sure the environment is right for our human beings to thrive. And I'm noticing that the most forward-thinking business owners and leaders in organizations are really acknowledging that, and are acknowledging that technology and AI is a wonderful tool to use, but the robustness needs to be in their people first of all, and they're not wavering on that. There's no compromise over people. It's people first, with brilliant tools that can be time saving and help efficiency. If you focus on the tech first, then your people are never going to feel safe, because it is the way bigger beast than we are. But I don't believe it's more intelligent. We need to nurture that human intelligence. I don't think that's a question.
Oh, it does, yeah, definitely. It was a really nice kind of succinct share on obviously how I'm supposed to marry the two, and what business leaders are doing, or the forward-thinking ones, as you say, which is a great share. Thank you. So, in terms of yourself and your lessons in business for your own business, I guess, what have you learned along the way? What would be your biggest lesson that you could share? And again, if there's an expansion on what that is, that would be great.
Gosh, I learn constantly. I think we're always and redirecting slightly. I think the big thing that stands out to me, and I always carry with me, is keep it simple. It's very easy in the world we live in to be distracted by opportunity that isn't really genuine opportunity. It's just something that's trying to get your attention. So yeah, keep it simple. I tell myself that and my team daily. Let's just go to our roots constantly. And for some people, that's a real sense of purpose. For others, it might be a particular service or product, something that's core to their business that they are absolutely specialist and expert in, you might say. And it's that for me. It's keep it simple. I'm constantly learning when I'm drifting into the world of opportunity, not to be hoodwinked by something that isn't really an opportunity. It's just a distraction.
Sure.
Yeah.
And have you had experience where you had to go through that and then pull back and sort of learn from it, in terms of is there anything you can share on where you have maybe been distracted?
We'd need an hour. Yes, of course. Of course.
Love the honesty. Yeah.
Constantly learning. I suppose a recent one would be online platforms. So obviously a few years ago, we won't dwell on it, but the world went online for more than one reason. And humans crave connection, and that I think there's a happy balance to be struck between what we do online and how we use the online platform with also what really needs that face-to-face, in-person, almost white of the eye contact. So I've definitely learned that whilst you can do some elements of people development with the online platform, let's say, it isn't a sort of one size fits all. So that was a big learning curve for me, and I invested lots of resource in the online side of things, but it doesn't necessarily deliver the results that matter to me. So that will be a big learning curve.
Another good share. Thank you very much for that, Felicity. So in terms of your inspiration to do what you do, I could hazard a guess around sort of the areas for that, but in your own words, what makes you kind of keep on going and want to grow the business and do what you do and sort of get out of bed the morning and be engaged with it?
I think there is nothing more exciting to me than helping someone unlock their own potential. And again, that takes me back to my roots, my upbringing on a farm in North Yorkshire, the seasons, which very much play a part in the work that we do and the biology of alignment. So for me, it's the buzz, and there's always another human coming along, always, and I think that's exciting. It's a great privilege. So that keeps me going. My children are that daily proof that growth is absolutely inevitable when you've got the surroundings and the environment that you need. And
you mentioned again, sort of off camera, your children are 13 and 11, is that right?
That's right, 2 boys.
What are their response to, in terms of, do you change your language around this kind of I suppose development angle in order for them to sort of pick up on it, or do they kind of dismiss it? Is there anything on that side, from obviously being a professional in dealing with adults and companies, but reflecting with your kids, tips, hints, anything like that that's sort of transferable?
My children are my greatest inspiration. My children are my inspiration every single day, and they're their willingness to take risks, to be brave, to be the courage people. They are my courage people.
Yeah.
So it's actually the way around. It's them inspiring
Yeah.
me. I think what I am committed to is always stopping and looking and learning from them. And I have learnt in doing that my kids are they're my test crew. You know, anything that be to testing, it's on them. And nothing is too complicated for a child. Their learning is, they're at that amazing age where they're absolute sponges. You know, they're laying down pathways, of course they are, but they're absolute sponges, and they are my sense check. So if I want to try and explain something in a way that I know is transformative, but I need to know whether I'm explaining it in a way that people understand, I go to them first.
Fantastic. I love that share. Again, I'm kind of personally reflecting with my kids there, sometimes trying to explain something and they just look at me like, what are you on about? But if you put it in a context or a metaphor or an analogy that they understand, then yeah, it massively helps. They get it. And then you can use that to take it into the adult world for clarity and simplicity.
Yeah, it also it helps your children not fear, but
yes,
to see challenge or to see that discomfort as actually inevitable, and almost to seek it. And that again is something that I find really inspiring in young people.
Yeah, and I think in terms of it, there's a narrative to give to children these days, that not to fear things, and that uncomfortableness is okay.
Absolutely.
Helping them grow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I encourage mine to be that kind of uncomfort-seeking missile.
Yeah, uncomfort-seeking missile. I'm going to write that one down. I think I'll take that one and take that away to my kids.
Discomfort-seeking missile, maybe.
Yeah.
That is where something grows. We've just had a really interesting conversation, actually, because I did a number of inset days in schools. I always do a little bit of work in schools, particularly at the beginning of the academic year. It's great, and I find it really inspiring to be amongst all those teachers who have got every day the opportunity to facilitate and support growth. We talked about school shoes. We talked about how you're getting ready to come back to school, and your children's school shoes might fit them in July, but then miraculously by mid-September they don't, and they're as tight as can be. And that discomfort is where the growth is. It's a lovely metaphor that really helps me focus on those conversations that are sometimes tricky, and we all have clients who maybe we set off with, and we're serving and we're providing and working in their organizations. I work with lots of organizations on a retained basis throughout the year. There will inevitably come a point where it doesn't feel quite right. It doesn't feel easy. It doesn't feel maybe as if we're on the plan that we originally set out with. But I've learned that is the discomfort actually I'm looking for, and I actually crave it happening quite quickly, so that we're really digging into what people need.
Leaning into it, as you say, at the right opportunity. It's an opportunity. Every sort of challenge, if you feel that, as you say, as soon as possible, recognize it and see, oh, this is an opportunity to change, to be better.
Yeah, if you want your business to grow, whether it's from 1 to 10 people or to 1,000 people, however many noughts you might be adding on to the end of your bottom line, you have to have a culture where discomfort is not feared, and it's exciting.
Thank you for that share. So we'll just come to the end. We'll wrap it up now. So lastly, if there's any latest news about what you guys are up to, Courage People, or even just a case of sharing a website, feel free to do that if people want to get in touch with you, and we'll put the link in the description at the end of the video.
Oh, thanks, Mike. Well, it goes without saying, if anybody would like any support, a conversation around their people and how to take things to the next level, or if you've got a manager who's leading people for the first time, then get in touch. I'm quite old school and a bit analog. I'm here to help, and there's no such thing as a discovery call with me. We'll have a call, and I will give you everything I can in a few minutes. Please come along to our website and find out more about our programs. Everything can be bespoke. It needs to be to the needs of your people. So you'll find us at couragepeople.co.uk. We have a newsletter that you might like to subscribe to that's full of people, leadership hints and tips. And you'll also find out about our events. We run quarterly events throughout the year in different locations around the county and beyond. And more than welcome to subscribe to that, where you'll find out more.
Lovely. Thanks, Felicity. It's been a real pleasure talking with you, and thank you for sharing all that you have. And I wish you all the best for the future success of the business.
Oh, thanks so much, Mike. It's been great being with you today. Take care.